How we doing?
Coach
Frank Haith,
Haith.
head coach, University of Tulsa. Omicron Alpha, spring '92. Yeah, just like Jerry said, I think we're used to being in the gyms this time of year. So, but that honeydew list. I think some guys were talking about it earlier. I'm about tired of that honeydew list, man. I'm ready to get out. But it's been good though. The reconnecting with the family. I know, when this is all over, said and done, we're gonna take a vacation. But it's been good. We're still doing everything virtual, still working hard. Making calls, being on that phone all day, and we all had a lot of recruiting to do here this spring, and but it was kind of unique, adjusting and adapting to it. Gates, that's an interesting point. I think I have a saying. I said, you can get where you want to be from anywhere, and
Yeah.
no school's going to get you there. And
Woo.
and the buildings, that's the flashy stuff. It's what's inside the buildings is most important, and the relationships inside those buildings are what's going to help you grow the most. And I think that's so important that you brought that up with the young people in terms of deciding on a school. Those are things I think are not taken into account always. They think a school's going to get them where they want to be, and that's not necessary. That's never the case.
Right.
And I know for me personally, when we get back and we go out and evaluate kids, there's a couple things that I'm very interested in, and that's a kid's work ethic. Can he get better because of his work ethics? And when I watch a kid play, his body language, how's he carry himself? Is he a good teammate? And now we all want talent. We all want guys who can pass, dribble, catch, and shoot, and that skill set's important. But I'm telling you, those are some things I think are overlooked, and parents and the kids don't understand that we are evaluating that. I'm evaluating a kid how he responds to his teammates and his body language. I'm evaluating, his effort and how he's on the bench when his other teams are playing. That stuff is extremely important. To that point, when guys make the transition from high school to college, obviously they're the best player in the high school team. A lot of these kids, now they go to college and then they're not the best player. So now there's roles established. Okay, so whatever your role is, now you got to buy into what your role is, and that's where the adjustment. That's where the period of time that you have to get that kid to understand. Obviously understand we all want to win, right? But that role, whatever your role is, embrace that role. Now you have the buy-in. Now you have a chance to have some success. But guys, we live in a microwave society. These kids come in here and they want it right now. And that's where the biggest adjustment from kids coming from high school to college is understanding the process. And that's changed over the years. Kids have changed. I mean, I know, I'm old, so it used to be when kids would go to college your freshman year, you don't play that much. Your sophomore year, play a little bit more. Your junior year, now you're one of the frontline guys. Well, that's not necessarily the way kids see it nowadays, and it's a little different. But the kids that do Coach Gill under buy-in, have that buy-in, they're the ones that have the most success. Well,
As a whole,
the transfer thing is, if they pass this rule, which I think is going to happen, the one-time transfer. I mean, people are going to be recruiting that thing in the spring. Is going to be a lot of recruiting going on because you're going to have kids transferring, and then you're going to have kids leaving your program because they're transferring, and there's a lot of guys going to be transferring, and then the high school kid may be lost behind that a little bit. So okay. I think the high school kids, I don't want to speak for everybody, but we're all into the high school kids in the fall. And at the summer, because that's who we're recruiting. And I think kids that want to wait to sign late, it's a little different for them now because that transfer thing is going to be crazy, and it's already crazy, but it's getting ready to get even crazier. Yeah, hey, it's a good thing maybe for that kid, but not for that coach that's losing that kid.
Right, right.
That's he's got a job, and he's developed that kid. The kid's gotten good. Now all of a sudden he gonna, take off. But that's why the transfer portal is so. It's gonna be a vital part of the recruiting. It is because you're like Rich said, you're gonna be finding yourself filling your roster every year.
Yep.
Because someone's been doing this for 30 plus years. What's wrong with just recruiting a kid until you offer him when you really want him? When you feel like the time is right. And
right.
But the first time you call a kid, they want to know, are you offering?
Man.
It ain't about the recruiting process, but are you offering?
Right.
You want it for just
Absolutely.
that purpose, you know?
So,
Put it
Coach
on
Haith,
social media.
Is that the beginning of the conversation or the beginning of the recruiting? They want to know if you pick up a phone and call them, are you actually offering them then?
I'm telling you, I'm getting that question
Damn.
asked to you right away.
Damn.
Are you off? Well, I tell you, we recruit nationally. I mean, you just mentioned it. You know, if you want to go overseas, or I would love to have Oklahoma be our foundation, and we venture out the states that connect Oklahoma. But I got a kid on my team from Bakersville, California last year. So, you know, when you've been in it as long as I've been in it, and I've coached at a lot of different places all over the country, you're going to develop relationships and connections all over the country. So you're going to have a wide net that in terms of recruiting that I recruit from. And that, you know, that's so true. That young man may be good in that environment that he's in, but our evaluation process goes all over the country.
Anybody else want to touch that?
Well, I believe in repetition. I believe a guy should get in the gym and work on his game. I'm with Gates on that. I think a guy, you know, getting up shots and working on your game is important. But one of the best teams I've coached was a Missouri team, and them guys played one-on-one after practice.
There you go.
Every day.
See, I like that.
And they played one-on-one after a 3-hour practice and competed every single day.
How many dribbles, Coach? How many dribbles, Coach?
They had 4 dribbles. 4 dribbles. 4 dribble max. Because that's how you learn how to play. You know, you got to compete, and you got to go against one another. You got to get your shot. You got to know how to get your shot off. Today, you know, you can run great offense, but you got to go get a bucket. Got to know how to get a shot off. But they play one-on-one every single day, and so I believe in that. I believe in the competing. I believe in the guys, and you know, 5-on-5. We do that every day at practice throughout the whole year. I mean, I think that's important, but I believe in repetition too. So that's why I go back to that first thing I talking about is work ethic. Guys putting in that work, and you know, you got a lot of time. You get in the gym. I want guys in the gym, but I want them to compete too. I think in our profession, it's on a decline. Over the years, I remember when I was in ACC, we of the 12 ACC schools, we had 7 at one time, and I thought we were on a great path in terms of college basketball, and it's great to see Gates have an opportunity and Stack at Vanderbilt, and you know, when I started in this profession, you had John Thompson, you had Nolan Richardson, you had George Raveling. Those were the guys that I looked up to, and you know, and now we got Leonard Hamilton. There's still guys that are, and you know, my advice to young coaches in this profession is be well-rounded, and when you get that opportunity, you're prepared. You know, I was very fortunate to work for coaches that allowed me to be involved with the total program, and you know, not just recruit, because recruiting is gonna get you your job. There's no question. You gotta get good players, and you cannot negate that. But we got to be student of the game. We got to be great scouters. We got to be great, speaking, do speaking engagements. We got to do all that stuff because your presence is going to be what's going to get you the opportunity. And then you got to be prepared when you get that opportunity to do well. And that's what gives you staying power. I just don't think some of us, we're in opportunities, and I would encourage young coaches that are in those opportunities. You know, no coach is going to keep you in a pigeonhole. Just say you just recruit. You be aggressive, and you want to do other things. So that when you get your opportunities, you're prepared to do well. You know, we have core values that I share with all prospective student athletes, and it goes like character, skill, toughness, humility, servanthood, and thankfulness. Character: who are you when no one's watching? Skill: I talked about it earlier. Pass, dribble, catch, and shoot. Toughness: mental and physical toughness. Humility: you know, do you have a humble spirit about yourself? Okay. Servanthood: are you a giver or you're a taker? And then thankfulness: being grateful for opportunities. Those are things that we look at when we recruit prospective student athletes that are important to guys we want in our culture. And I just want to share that with other prospective student athletes. Every program has their core values, but these are something we live by.